All right, let's jump right in. When I say the word library, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it, dusty shelves and absolute silence? Well, let's try to reframe that thought. A library isn't just a building. Think of it more like a really powerful system, kind of like a compass and a ship all in one, built to help you navigate this massive, crazy ocean of information we're all swimming in every single day.
I mean, you know the feeling, right? It's that constant flood of articles, data, news, notifications. It is completely overwhelming. But what if you had a system designed not just to help you tread water, but to actually turn all that chaos into real clarity? Well, that's the exact problem we're going to unpack today. Okay, so first things first, we have to get our terms straight. We throw around words like data, information, and knowledge almost interchangeably, but they're not the same thing at all. They actually represent a really crucial progression. And understanding this difference, it's the key to everything else we're going to talk about. So check this out. It all starts with data. These are just raw, totally unrelated facts. Think of a long list of temperature readings. That's data. Now, once you organize that data, say by time and location, it becomes information. It suddenly has context, it means something. But the final and most important step is knowledge. A scientist might have information from reading a report on an experiment, but the scientists who actually did the experiment, they have the knowledge. It's that information applied through real-world experience. So, now that we've got that foundation down, let's make this practical. Because let's face it, not all information hunts are created equal. Depending on what you're trying to do, your actual need for information can be completely different. So let's break down the 4 main types. First up, you've got the current information need. This is for the professional who absolutely has to keep their finger on the pulse of their industry. Think of a CEO tracking her competitors, or a doctor who needs to know about the latest medical breakthroughs. It's all about staying constantly aware of what's new. Then we have the exhaustive information need. Now, this is the real deep dive. This is the researcher who's starting a new project and literally needs to find everything that's ever been published on their topic. Why? So they don't repeat old work and can build on what others have already discovered. It's all about being comprehensive. And then there's the one we probably all have multiple times a day, the everyday information need. This is super quick and to the point. A chemist in a lab just needs to know the melting point of a chemical to move on with her work. It's a single, factual question to solve an immediate problem. Quick, easy, done. And finally, there's the catching up information need. This is what happens when you need to get up to speed on a totally new field and you need to do it fast. Imagine an expert in, say, biology, who suddenly gets put on a project with a bunch of engineers. They don't need every single detail, but they do need a really solid overview to be able to work together effectively. So, okay, we've got these 4 very different scenarios: the executive, the researcher, the chemist, and the expert playing catch-up. How in the world can a single system possibly serve all of them? Well, this is where the library's Genius Core strategy really shines. Check this out. The modern library basically operates on a brilliant 2-part strategy. On one hand, it's reactive. It provides services when you specifically ask for them. But on the other hand, it's also proactive. It actually provides services in anticipation of what you might need, sometimes before you even know you need it. So let's dig into that first part, the responsive library. This is the role we typically think of, right? The library as a service that just jumps into action the moment you have a specific question or request. And this is its toolbox. It's got everything from quick reference answers to massive, long-range literature searches for a thesis. They can compile detailed bibliographies on any subject you can think of. They can even hunt down and deliver a specific, hard-to-find document from another institution entirely. It's basically like having a personal, on-demand information support team. All right, now for the second part. And this is where things get really clever. The anticipatory library. This is the library thinking ahead for you. It's anticipating your needs before you even realize you have them. So how does it do this? Well, think of it like a personalized alert system. It can send you only the latest articles that are published in your very specific niche field. Or it can put together a curated daily briefing, kind of like an old-school newspaper clipping service for an executive. It can even take huge amounts of information and condense it all down into easy-to-read summaries and digests, saving you a ton of time. It's all about filtering the world's information just for you. And of course, every single piece of this has been put on hyperdrive by the internet. The digital age didn't make the library obsolete. No way. It just gave it a whole new set of superpowered tools and a much, much bigger field to play on. This quote just nails the shift perfectly. We went from a web where we pretty much just consumed information, the read-only web, to a web where we are all creators. We are all writing, posting, and sharing. And this absolute explosion of content makes the library's role as a guide and an evaluator more critical than it has ever been.
And that leads to this fundamental point. It used to be that we had to go to the library, right? We had to build our work around its physical location and its hours. Now the library comes to us. It integrates its services directly into our digital lives, meeting us right where we are. And this is what that new digital toolbox looks like. You've got 24/7 access to the entire catalog from your couch. You get a golden ticket to these incredibly expensive, specialized databases that you could never afford on your own. You get instant access to full-text articles, e-journals, online courses. The library is no longer just a place you go, it's a service you access. Anywhere, anytime. All of this brings us to what might be the single most important service the modern library provides, especially today, and that is information literacy. Seriously, in an age of so much misinformation, this skill is a genuine superpower. It's not just about finding stuff. It's about knowing how to evaluate if it's credible, how to use it effectively, and how to communicate it ethically. This is what libraries teach. Which kind of leaves us with this final big thought to chew on. We tend to think of a quick internet search as the library's replacement. But when you can find a million answers in half a second, the real challenge isn't finding an answer, it's finding the right one. In an age where literally anyone can publish anything, maybe the library's true job as our expert navigator, as our quality filter, is really just getting started. What do you